When we talk about premium, we're often talking about three very important characteristics. One, it's the brand of the publisher themselves. What's the organic brand strength that that publisher has? How consumers relate to it, the expectations they have for the brand. Number two, really important, it's the ad experience itself. So you could have Pulitzer Prize winning content, but if you don't have a respectful ad experience that is sort of welcoming to the user, that is friendly to the user, that has an impact on how the consumer will perceive the overall premiumness of the environment they're in. And the third, the most important part, is the relevancy of the ads themselves. So when you have all three, you have strong organic brand strength from the publisher, you have a quality ad experience, and then you have quality relevant ads. All three of those things have a tremendous impact on the consumer's perception of how premium the environment is that they're actually consuming content.
The Trade Desk has long been championing the idea of the open internet and the idea of premium within that. It's often considered a buyer's market, though. And so from that perspective, how does this dynamic influence the way advertisers and publishers interact today, particularly, again, within the open internet?
Yeah. So buyer's market is just what it sounds like. It means that there's more supply than demand. Now, what that actually ends up meaning is that there's an opportunity for buyers to be very selective, to make sure that they choose the content and the experiences and the premium inventory that best align to their goals and their objectives. And in order to do that, there's an expectation or a requirement. I need more information. I need to understand this. And so they can be more discerning, and then premium publishers can be more transparent or more signal rich. They can use the technology itself to make sure that they stand out in a world where there is more supply than demand.
Want to touch on that idea of transparency a bit more. Obviously a big topic, again, and one of the virtues of the open internet. How has transparency been helping advertisers make smarter decisions and rewarding publishers who invest in quality?
Yeah, transparency is important, not just because in and of itself transparency is good, but transparency is actually one of the ways in which we know has an accretive value to performance. When we understand the inventory that we're transacting against, or we're making a decision on whether we're going to bid or how much to bid, knowing as much about that opportunity as possible so that we can compare it and contrast it to other similar or like opportunities so that we can make the best possible decision. Transparency from that standpoint is what drives performance. And so it's a critical area, not just for the trade desk, but for our clients, but also for publishers. It's how they stand out. It's how they prove that their inventory performs.
Will, like transparency, the idea of the open internet sounds like a self-evident virtue, but there's also talk about a healthier open internet, and wanted to know, what does that look like in practice?
Yeah, healthier open internet, I don't think it's all that complicated. It means that the incentives are aligned for a sustainable ecosystem, so that publishers can invest in premium content. They can make the shows we love, the podcasts that we listen to, the music we enjoy, the journalism we read. All of those things take a significant investment. They're not cheap, they're hard to produce, and they're really hard to do it at scale with a certain level of quality. A healthier open internet means that they can do those, they can rationalize those investments, and that the ecosystem, that it's sustainable, that publishers can effectively run profitable businesses because the premium environment performs. And so that we can increase investment, buyers get more value, and publishers can continue to create great original content.
So this also maybe seems like a self-evident question, but how do clear auctions or supply strategies contribute to this healthier open internet?
Yeah, we just have to remove the complexity. The open internet is where we spend a lot more of our time. It's where we often find the most meaningful content and the experiences. It's unregretted time. It's time that we've intentionally chosen to spend. It's not time that was taken from us. And so what we're after is not very complex, but the technology can be very, very complex. One way to think about it is what we're trying to do is not very complicated, but the mechanics can be very complex. It's like a Swiss watch. At the end of the day, it just tells the time. But the amount of components and engineering and that goes into that, it's really difficult. It's like a true kind of artistry. We have to get better at not shipping that complexity to the edges, to publishers and to buyers, to make it as easy to transact the open internet as it is any other form of media. And if we do that well, then we can see investment be right-sized relative to the value of the open internet in terms of the experience, that unregretted time. And so if we can reduce complexity, increase performance, then we have a healthier, sustainable ecosystem.
So with that healthier, sustainable ecosystem in mind, what does success look like if the industry truly does embrace quality and transparency as you've described it so well across the supply chain?
Yeah, I think about this question a lot because I sometimes feel like people don't realize how good this can be. If we get the incentives right, if we get the right alignment between content investment and marketer investment, and those things are sustainable, and that they're sort of a virtuous cycle, and we have like the proverbial flywheel that we're always after in our ecosystem, then the amount of new content, the barriers to entry drop. Easier it is. The consumer surplus continues to grow and thrive. Consumers get more, publishers have a profitable business, and marketers get performance. That's driving product, it's driving sales, it's driving market capture. If we do all of those things well, that's a high growth recipe. And so if we look at why we're doing all of these things or where we're going, it's so that we have an ecosystem in our grasp that can fulfill all of those things.